Welcome. Welcome back to my channel Conquer the Fear. You have written the code, you have also configured everything and you start your application. Now after you start your application got crashed up. So there might be an issue of cannot create a transaction exception, there might be an issue of communication exception, there might be an issue of database not available, right? There might be a root a password which you have not given properly, username password you have been given incorrect, there might be an incorrect URL you have given, so unable to create a connection, right? So for freshers it's very confusing. They what setup wrong have they done, they might not be very well known to it as they are freshers. For experienced developers it might be a maddening thing because they might be thinking yesterday it was working, suddenly what has happened to it, right? So database connection is one of the most common and the frustrating problems. So this might be caused by as simple as giving a wrong username, or you have missed to write the password, or there might be a possibility that you have given an invalid JDBC URL. Okay, so these all things might add up and then give you an exception. So the good news is that these are very easy to fix it, and once you know where to look into this, it will be a very easy fix. So I will guide you to learn how to identify this issue and also resolve this issue with a clear explanation, with a working example, and also step by step configuration with the help. So without wasting the time, let's begin and watch the video till the end. Now, very first thing what we will be looking into is why the database connection issue happens in Spring Boot application, right? So there might be several reasons and common causes. The very first thing is incorrect configuration. Now there might be a wrong database URL, there might be a wrong username and password you have written, right? Or also there is a possibility you have given a wrong JDBC driver as well. Looking at the second example, the database not be running, so there it might not be reachable as well. So the database server wherever your database is running, it might be down or it might be inaccessible due to some network issue. So make sure you check that. There might be a possibility of having a driver issue that is missing. So JDBC driver is dependent. Okay, so you have to add this particular dependency in the pom.xml. So make sure it is added. Okay. Port issues, sometimes it happens where, like, your application is, your database is deployed on certain host, right, and it is not connecting properly, you have written up wrong port. Okay, so especially if you are using any containerization like Docker, or if you are using any Spring Cloud environments, right, any AWS or any other uh, cloud environments. So connection pool exhaustion. So there might be a possibility that if you are setting up the connection pool and it got exhausted, so the connections are claimed and then there is no further connection to give to that particular application or the part of the code, right? So it has reached this particular maximum pool size and it is unable to provide any connections. Also, there might be a possibility of SSL or TLS misconfiguration. So, whenever you're trying to connect to a database, it always require the SSL connections, right? So, it might be that you have not enabled it, right? So, make sure that you have this particular configuration enabled. Now in this I'm going to explain you how to troubleshoot this and how do you can fix that. Okay, the very first thing what we have to check is that you have to go to your Spring Boot application. I will also show you the example of the from the IntelliJ. I will be creating a project and I will be showing you what all this configuration has to be done. Okay, so first you have to open up the application dot properties, or if you have YML you can also open that. So you have to check that your all the configurations are correct, right? So whether, just for an example, if you have taken MySQL as a database, okay, so you see in under the resource folder there will be an application dot properties or a YML file. Now under that you have to define all this particular URL, username, password, the driver name, and exactly whether you want to do create or update or what kind of schema, right? So you have to verify the database name, the port number is correctly reachable or not, your username password is correct or not. So you have to check all this, then only you will be able to connect your database. So before going to this particular application, make sure you open up the MySQL, you start that particular server, and then you, with any UI tool like MySQL workbench, okay, so you can connect it and see whether you are able to connect it or not, right? So in that you will be able to verify your database name. If you see here, then you will be able to verify the port number, and then you can also add, I mean, whether after giving that port number and the database name, there might be a possibility that you have given the wrong username and password. So always ensure that without before connecting that. Second, you have to add that particular dependency. So if you go to your Maven, right, so you can actually uh, add that particular driver details over there. Now if you see here, the version and the artifact ID I have given over here. Now there might be a possibility, like if you don't add this, there might be exception thrown, that SQL exception, that is that no suitable driver found, okay, if there is some misconception of that. Third thing, you have to test your database, as we already spoke of. So you have to check, like you have to give in what server it is hosted, right? You have to give, if it is in the local host, you have to use the local host. If it is on the server, you have to give the IP address, you have to give the port number, and then the root name and the password. If this fails, right, there might be problem in it, right? Fourth thing, what you have to check for the logging. So you have to always enable the logging things. So in Spring Boot, you can actually enable the levels of logging. So you have to keep it as a debug. Okay. So there might be a possibility of timeout error. There might be some authentication error. There might be some driver related issue. There might be some exhaustion of the pools which you have created. So you have to always look out for those particular logging things, where it will give you a clear message what might be the problem. Now there, we already spoke about, there might be a pool exhaustion. So you have configured the connection pools, and then there are high number of connections already been consumed, and there is no other connection available. In that case, there is a pool exhaustion, right? So you can increase that particular by increasing the max pool size. You can also give the timeout details, like when this particular connection can be a timeout. Okay, so always try to review your connection leaks, right? There might be, like, you have not closed your connections, right? If you have previously connections has been included, then you have not closed the connection properly if your work is done, right? So always check for that. Now lastly, you have to check for the SSL if it is required. Now there are databases like Postgres, or like any of the databases which are hosted on cloud, right? So it always asks for enabling the SSL, right? So in Spring database, you can always try to make use of the SSL, and you can make it as, mark it as true, okay, and you can also enable that it require SSL to be checked up. So these all things will make sure that you are free from exceptions, and also uh, any other new exception doesn't appear, right? So if you configure all this particular and check all these things, you will be free from any exceptions. Now we will go to the source code. Now I will create a Spring Boot application, and then I will give you the details. Now if you look into this particular, I have gone to this starter Spring initializer. Now if you see here, I've chosen the Maven, I've chosen the Java version, and I've told multiple times that you always try to select the stable version. Now currently I could see this is one of the stable version, okay. So always try to avoid using the snapshot or the RC version. So you have to give the artifacts group ID and the data description of this particular project, and then you have to choose the packaging as with the Java version, what you have to do, right? Now under this, actually I have to add this particular Spring data JPI as well. So these all three dependencies you can add. You can also add the Lombok over here, okay. So this might be useful when you're trying to add the getter setter automatically, right? So these are all the configuration when you're trying to create. Now once I create this, I will be able to import that particular project into the Intel. Now if you look at this, I have already downloaded the project and imported into the IntelliJ. Now if you look at this particular pom.xml, you will be able to see the details. Now under this, if you see, there will be a version details. Now there are dependencies which we already added over there. You will see all these particular dependencies already added. Okay. So what you have to do is that now uh, now we should already be checking the database connection. So what we will do, we'll go to the MySQL. Prior to connecting to the MySQL, we should ensure that MySQL is already installed, and also you are trying to open it in the MySQL workbench. So you might be using any other database or any other tool to access that database, but for this particular instance, I'm using MySQL. So make sure that particular database is installed, or also the UI to access that particular database is enabled. Now I'll go to the MySQL workbench to show you. Now under this, you should be able to create a new schema over here. I've already created the schema over here. Now if you look at this particular thing, I've already created it. Okay, so I'm able to use it, and also I will be able to create it. Now this particular user table will be created once you start the application. I will walk you through it, but currently, just for your information, you have to make use of this particular database, and then you have to execute this particular data query. Okay, now once you have this particular application, go to the application.properties. Here you have to add the port number. If you already see the database application name over here, and you can see the details I have added over here: the driver, the dialect, the detail auto, the debug information, the username and password over here. So this might be different for you. There might be a different database you might be using. So make sure you configure all this according to your databases, whether it might be MySQL, Postgre, Oracle, or any other databases. Okay. So make sure you do this. Once you do this, what you can do is that if you have to go to this particular package, you have to create your model over here. Okay. So here, if you see here, I've already created the persistent class over here. So I've the one which I showed you in the MySQL as of now. So this is the class over. I marked it as an entity over here, and I actually have the primary key and the one name over here. Okay, I've created the getter setter over here. Okay, post that, what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to create an interface, the JPR repository. So now under this, I am giving that particular username and the primary key over here. Okay. Now just for your simplicity, what I've done that in this particular main application, what I'm trying to do is that I am extending that, but I'm trying to run that particular line runner. I'm implementing this particular run method over here. I'm creating a bean over here. So when your application is getting started up, right, I'm trying to create the 10 uh, users along with this particular some variations over here. I am trying to save the database over here. Okay, so once you have this particular things configured over here, automatically when your application is getting started, right, it will create that particular, because we have already configured that you have to create that, and then it will be automatically created. So let's run this particular application. Okay, your application is started now. Okay, now if you go to this particular database, I will show you what exactly the details are. Now if you run this particular query, you will be able to see there are database in the column is being created, the database table is created, and then the table also has the data over here. Okay, I hope this particular video is very helpful to you. Okay, and you got an understanding how to fix those issues, what needs to be checked up, right? Now I will just make one mistake over here. If you see, I have given the wrong username and password over here. Now let's try to see what will happen when I'm trying to give you a wrong username and password over here. Now if you see, there is an exception has happened over here. If you see, it says the root localhost access denied, right? So I've given the wrong username and password. The password is given wrong. Now let's do that. I will give the wrong username itself. Okay, what will happen? Let's look at that as well. Same, if you see the access denied over here, the password is wrong, it says that, right? So unable to open the JDBC connection. Now let's say if I keep the database connections ready, right? Now let's say if I add some other port number over here, okay? Now you see here, right, the driver has not received any packet, right? So if you see here, if you go up, right, unable to open the JDBC connection, right? So this is the error what you get, okay? Now let's say if I give this particular port correct, but I give the database none wrong, right? Okay. Now if you see, it says that there is unknown database over here, right? So if you from this particular exception stack on stack trace, we'll be able to clearly understand what is the issue, and then we'll be able to fix it. Okay. So always try to check the stack trace. It will give you the root cause, what exactly it is, right? Now if you see, the application is already started and up. I hope this video is very helpful to you. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Please watch my other videos from the playlist. Thank you for watching.